Okay.
And on that note,
Yeah. Help with the sound effect here. Okay. Okay, good morning. It's Tuesday, May 24th, 9:30 a.m. Would you all please rise and join us in the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. We'll start with a prayer, please. Heavenly Father, we beseech your divine guidance in this meeting. Keep us ever mindful of our obligation. Grant us, dear Lord, wisdom, tolerance, and courage, that we may well serve our county and fulfill our trust. Amen. All right. And we've got minutes.
We'll make a motion to approve the minutes.
second.
Moved to second. Any discussion? Roll call, please.
Sweattick?
Yes.
Hudson?
Yes.
Hambley?
Yes. All right. We do have a special guest, Brunswick Fire Chief Greg Launer. Please come forward. You have an announcement for us.
Thank you. Good morning. This has kind of impromptu. I apologize for bursting into the meeting.
It's all right.
I have a flyer that I would like to disseminate through the county, and I wanted to make sure that I didn't miss somebody of importance and pay the aftermath. So in the city of Brunswick, we had a firefighter that died in 1969, Ron Novak. He was called out of church, went to a brush fire, and ended up getting burned and dying the next day. I was a Cleveland fireman for 35 and a half years. When I retired there, I started in Brunswick as assistant chief, and I was there probably 2 years when I finally realized that someone had passed in 1969. After questioning some of the other firefighters there, a whole lot of them didn't know that even occurred, and I just think that's terrible that a piece of our history is lost and someone made the ultimate sacrifice and is not honored. So the Medina County Fire Chiefs Association is going to put on a memorial service. We have a monument that we're going to dedicate. It's going to be a pretty big event, but it's going to honor all firefighters in Medina County that have died in the line of duty. And this will be the first event, and thereafter, every year it'll be in a different community. But I just wanted to get the flyer out, and a question if one of you could disseminate it throughout the county.
Do you have a date?
When's the event? What's the date and time?
I'm sorry, it's on June 18th at 10 o'clock at Brunswick Fire Station number 1, 4383 Center Road.
Right. Well, we have a newsletter. Likewise, we could put that information up. Bi-weekly, I think, is this Friday, correct? We've got one coming out?
Yes, it's coming out this Friday.
Yep. So we'll make sure that all that gets included.
Okay, great. Thank you
Super.
very much.
Hey, thank you so
Thank
much.
you.
Appreciate it. All right. I'd like to open public comment regarding any of our pending resolutions. Is this regarding a resolution we have on the agenda now? Okay, please. If you please state your name and if you could identify what resolution you're
Mark Frederick,
speaking about.
6146 West Smith Road, Medina. Been a while since I've been here with liberty and justice for all. It's been a while because county commissioners managed to crawl out from under my microscope temporarily. But I see it's time for me to get it out, start up again, and get a few things straightened out in this county before they get too far out of control. Some of you have seen me around a few times, about the mailbox the county killed for me. And over the last 30 years, we've been here about a pipeline, and the money's generated from that never materialized, I might add. Garbage contract that a friend of mine sued about it. It was awarded, I don't know how many years ago, but some time ago. That case got thrown out of court. I've been here about the new courthouse. You know, we need that like an extra hole in the head, more money, finances. We'll be paying that. Our kids will be paying for that long after we're dead, rotten, and forgotten. And that kind of brings me to dead, rotten, and forgotten. Got a plan in the back of my mind, $3 of gas in the backhoe. I find out it's legal to bury yourself in the backyard in the township. And I've checked into it in Lafayette, and guess what I'm planning? You ain't gonna get rid of me. You get rid of me that fast, I'll still be around to haunt you. And I've been here about the mailbox and a few other things, but today, as you said, what's on the agenda, basically about radioactive waste being dumped in our county. You know, we only have one Earth, and when we screw it up, it's gone. You're not going to bring it back. You've heard me say this before, and I'm here saying it again. I've had a lot of acres and a lot of land for a lot of years. I've cashed in on it. Many of you know that back half is gone. Front half is still there, and I'll be planting soybeans this afternoon. And when I plant those soybeans, I'm going to put some pop on them. Sticky sugar. And when I pour that on the seed, and I put a bacteria, rhizoctonia, on it, it sticks to the seed. What's that got to do with radioactive waste in Medina County? Well, what it's got to do is, we're using beet juice, sugar. Sticks to the road. And when it kicks up under your tires, it sticks to the bottom of your car, too. So besides poisoning our people, and I think we should have maybe a campaign going, POP, poisoning our population. And I'd like to admit that Mrs. Sweet's up for re-election. It would be a real bad thing if somebody put a billboard in their yard like he did 30 years ago when I got a judge unreelected. That's a long story. Go look at Jill Keck. I've been around, like I said. Anyhow, with the radioactive waste, that stuff with the sugary water and beet juice sticks to the bottom of your car. I have a friend who's a mechanic, and he used to buy a few feet of brake line every year. Now he buys it by the spool and just unwinds it because that salt in the brine and the sugar sticks to those lines, it just rusts and corrodes it out. So not only are you killing our population, you're destroying our property. Brake lines and transmission lines and stuff like that, I'm sure. Now, I haven't done my homework, I admit. I'm a retired teacher, too busy playing farmer. But there's others here who have done a lot of homework in advance of this, and I appreciate their effort. I think we need to say that we're keeping an eye on this county as best we can. Well, with the radioactive waste, once we pollute our air, it's gone. We're not going to ship any more in from the moon. Once we pollute our land with landfills, and that brought me to the garbage contract, we're not going to undo that. And the same thing with the water. And if you think water is a joke, go look at California. There's 7 states out there that are headed for a severe drought. Farmers, and I heard it from people that I know with bees out there pollinating the almond orchards. There's no water. It's going to get bad. I'm going to say the word here and now today, famine. If you think it can't happen, open your eyes. Some of those reservoirs out west are so low, they may not be able to generate electricity. Can you imagine Las Vegas in a desert, 112 degrees, no electricity, no air conditioning? This could get good. So all I want to say basically is there's a resolution coming up. None of this toxic brine waste, radioactive stuff dumped anywhere in our county. Not just Medina, the city, or Brunswick, the county. We deserve that for our future generations. And besides that, there's still other things going on. Avian influenza, nobody's aware of it probably. I am. I get 3 emails a day from the U.S. Department of Agriculture, the Ohio Department of Agriculture, and how Indiana Agriculture got my name, but it's true. And it has crossed over into population. There were jail helpers dragging dead chickens out in Colorado, and it transferred over to the humans. And I see Mr. Sheets is here, thank you too, because he kind of lit a fuse on me about the spending, which is just one more thing. But that's another topic another day. We don't have a resolution about that. But we'll keep an eye on it. I forgot to set my timer, but I still had fun. See you again.
Mr. Frederick, I did give you a wide latitude in as much as we do not have any pending resolutions regarding that topic, but I went ahead and allowed you to go ahead and proceed. Thank you very much for your comments. All right, we'll be opening up for other public
That was
comments.
my
for other
misunderstanding. I thought it
individuals.
was on a resolution today.
There's no resolution regarding
We're
that.
ready for
Thank
it.
you. All right, thank you. All right, regarding our resolutions, the county engineer's office, Dan Becker. Good morning.
Hey, Dan.
Let's see what we have today. I've got 5 resolutions for your consideration today. The first one is the necessity to close Blake Road between Yoder and Tower Road. The next is the necessity to close Weymouth Road between Nichols and Remsen. The third is accepting and awarding the project known as the 2022 Township Pavement Marking Project. The fourth resolution is approving the final plat for the Nottingham Estates subdivision in Sharon Township.
They were pulled. The 4 and 5 were pulled.
They were pulled, so Dan
Yes.
doesn't know what he's doing, so
That's all
disregard
right.
me.
Okay, so
only have-
we're up
So
to
the next
3.
thing is we have the
So we have the
permits.
top 3.
And then we have the permits. I'm sorry, Ron, I wasn't aware of that.
Okay.
That's my bad.
I will make a motion to approve the 3 resolutions.
Second.
Moved and second. Any discussion? Roll call, please.
Sweattick?
Yes.
Hudson?
Yes.
Hambley?
Yes.
Thank you, Rhonda.
Thanks,
Very
Dan.
good.
You're welcome.
She keeps us straight. Okay. Jeremy Sinko, our Senator Engineer. Good morning, Jeremy.
Good morning, Jeremy.
Two resolutions for consideration today. The first is authorizing the sanitary engineer to enter into an agreement with Jones & Henry Engineers for professional design services to install a permanent generator at the Westfield Road well. And the second is authorizing the transfer of funds between various sanitary engineer funds and county funds.
I'll make a motion to approve the two resolutions.
Second.
Moved in second, any discussion? Roll call, please.
Sweattick?
Yes.
Hudson?
Yes.
Hambley?
Yes.
Thank you.
Thanks, Jeremy.
Thanks, Jeremy. Holly Murin, our Human Resources Director. Good morning, Holly.
Good morning.
Good morning.
We have two resolutions today. The first resolution is approving the wage increases for employees of Medina County Child Support Enforcement Agency. Second resolution is your personnel changes. We have a promotion at Job and Family Services, 8 rate increases, 2 at sanitary, 2 at Job and Family Services, 1 at building, and 3 at animal shelter. 2 leave of absence, 1 at sanitary and 1 in finance. 1 resignation at Job and Family Services, and 1 retirement at county home.
I'll make a motion to approve the two resolutions.
Second.
Moved and second, any discussion? Roll call, please.
Sweattick?
Yes.
Hudson?
Yes.
Hambley?
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, Holly.
All right. Scott Miller, our County Administrator. Good morning, Scott.
Good morning.
Morning, Scott.
I have 4 resolutions for you today. The first resolution is authorizing the execution of a stop-loss agreement and addendum with Medical Mutual for the provision of employee health plan services. This is for the period of January 1st of 2022 through December 31st of 2022. The second resolution is authorizing a request for proposals and consulting services. This is for designing and implementing a Microsoft Active Directory infrastructure. The third resolution is approving an agreement for employee health benefit plan consultant services. This is with One Digital. The term is through, the current term ends May 31st of 2022, and the new term goes through May 31st of 2024 at $35,000 a year. And the final resolution is approving an agreement with Team Dynamics. This is for IT service management software, and it is a one-time cost of $10,650.
I'll make a motion to approve the 4 resolutions.
Second.
Moved in second, any discussion?
Scott, you have any idea, and maybe Susan can answer, well, what the implementation timeline is for the Active Directory?
I think we're going to try and get it completed by the end of the year. I think it's probably going to take about 6 weeks to get a contract awarded. And then, was it another 6 weeks, 8 weeks to get it actually?
It's about an 8 weeks, yes. We're starting actually in June 2nd. We have
Kickoff meeting?
that's bidding, you know, I mean, we're gonna start the bidding.
Oh, okay, all right. So we'll have something started then
It's
maybe by
pre-proposal,
September?
Yeah, pre-proposal meeting, yeah.
Okay,
Yeah, and I think the plan is to start moving departments over one at a time.
right.
So I think Susan and I, we've talked, and our goal is to have everybody under the commissioners moved over by the end of the year.
Got it. Okay, thank you.
All right,
Okay.
good, good. Any other discussion? Seeing none, roll call, please.
Sweattick?
Yes.
Hudson?
Yes.
Hambley?
Yes.
Thank you.
Very good.
Thanks, Scott.
Thank you. And Amy Lyon Galvin, our Assistant County Administrator.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
I have 12 resolutions for your consideration this morning. The first one is amending the appropriation measure resolution. The second is amending the 2022 appropriations resolution by transferring appropriations. Resolution 3 is a cash transfer for various funds. Resolution 4 is approving the submission of the fiscal year 2023 felony delinquent care reclaim grant application. The next 4 resolutions are the creation of grant funds and authorizing appropriations, with number 5 being the foster care recruitment and retention grant for JFS. Resolution 6 is for the Medina County Drug Task Force, and resolutions 7 and 8 are for the Sheriff's Office, the Motorcycle Safety Grant Fund, and their Recruitment Technology Upgrade Fund, respectively. The 9th, if I can get my papers here, is approving the Medina County Drug Advisory Committee, which is Mcdac, grant funding for fiscal year 22-23. That's just under the $1.75 million allocation we talked about last week. The 10th resolution is authorizing reimbursement of COVID-19 medical expenses to the county's self-insured healthcare fund with coronavirus local fiscal recovery funds as established under ARPA. This is $874,285 that were attributed to costs paid for COVID-related medical and prescriptive expenses from April 1st of 21 through March 31st of 22. The 11th resolution is allowing expenses of county officials. And the 12th and final resolution for finance this week is approving claims for the week in the amount of $2,834,331.14.
I'll make a motion to approve the 12 resolutions.
Second.
Moved in second, any discussion?
I just wanted to state again that the Mcdac distribution, the priorities were number one, to fully fund the drug task force, and secondly, the remainder to focus on the SROs.
Right. Roll call, please.
Sweattick?
Yes.
Hudson?
Yes.
Hambley?
Yes.
Thank you.
Very good. Thank you.
Thanks, Amy.
Now for some department updates. Shannon Ryan, our transit director. And I think we have a resolution also.
Hi, Shannon.
Good morning, how are you?
Good morning.
Good morning.
I'll start off with 3 resolutions for your consideration. The first resolution is approving the donation of a Braun mobility device lift from Medina VFW. I was contacted by the commander. The approximate estimate of a new one is about $2,500, so we're going to accept that as a nice donation. They didn't have a use for it. Approving the contract with the Greater Cleveland Regional Transit Authority and the Medina County Commissioners for an exchange of capital operating funds. And the third is approving the submission of applications with the Federal Transit Administration for fiscal year 22 Urban Area Formula Grant. That's to purchase preventative maintenance, or acquire funding for preventative maintenance, 7 replacement vehicles, schedule and delivery software, part of our long-term plan, and facility camera system.
I'll make a motion to approve the 3 resolutions.
Second.
Moved in second, any discussion? Roll call, please.
Sweattick?
Yes.
Hudson?
Yes.
Hambley?
Yes. All right. Go ahead.
In our April monthly report, our fixed route ridership is down about 1,000 trips on average for the month of April. It's been trending down. Hopefully after we get through everything we've been through with ridership and pandemic, folks are returning to fixed route, but we haven't seen that return quite yet. We did have 44 demand service trip denials in the month of April. These are mostly during our peak service times of early morning and mid-afternoon. It's just tight. In response to that, we are looking at with our strategic planning and taking a look at what can we do to be more flexible. We should have some more information as they do their community outreach efforts and ask the community what they're looking for. Listen, which I'm excited to hear back. We have some good ideas to offer out there. We're in the midst of our National Transit Database reporting for 2021. Quite involved, coming to the end of that hopefully really soon. And then we're planning for the 2018 through 2021 FTA trainer review. That's going to be a 4-year review because of the pandemic. In 20, they added a year to it. Thank goodness for that, right? And that'll be done on the 1st and 2nd virtually, and then our final meeting on the 16th. We've submitted a plethora of information to them, and then you come back and ask us how we conduct our business. So we'll have some good results from that. Excited to talk about the Human Services OOA bus shelter. Mentioning it, it's been put up very quickly by maintenance. Great job, gentlemen, over there. Thank your staff, Stephen. Took us a little bit to get it, but we got it. It's installed. We're going to officially open that on the 31st, Tuesday the 31st after the holiday. We hope to have some picture taking and some some nice things said out there about what we're doing to help the community that way. Any questions? I have a letter from John Murin. I'm sorry, Jeffrey Murin, John Murin's son. I'm just going to read, if I could, just a couple of paragraphs from it. Is that okay?
Right, sure.
I appreciate it. I presented it to you. This is from the son. I spoke to the son a couple times. He's an airline pilot that flies actually long distances, and he relies greatly on Medina County Public Transit for his father. Dad used the services for over 5 years. We moved him to Medina from a long-time home near Houston, Texas, to be closer to his family. Dad lived in Brookdale, Medina South Assisted Living Facility. He traveled to dialysis at Francis and Hinckley 3 times per week. Our family could not have done this without the services and support of Medina County Public Transit. There are too many people involved to thank personally. They were, of course, the drivers that patiently accommodated Dad as he got on and off the bus, as well as put up with his eccentricities and particularities. Dad was considered and thoughtful, but he liked things his way. I know it was a lot to deal with for the staff. There were also dispatchers and supervisors who regularly worked miracles and invested perhaps. Through it all, we were blessed to have the professional service provided at Medina County Public Transit. I let my entire staff read this, and I made sure they read the whole letter, because that's really what we're doing. And I really like this letter. I haven't reached back out. I haven't been able to reach him. He's traveling all the time. But he would buy tickets ahead of time for his dad, and he came in and he just really thanked us. So I just wanted to share that letter with the board. It's a nice thing to have. The team's done a great job. It says it right there, and I'm very proud to lead that team. So.
Yeah, thank you for showing us that.
Yeah. Okay.
Any questions? Very good.
So I do have a question.
Always.
So overall ridership is down. Is that fair?
That's correct, yes. Demand service is held.
Okay. So are there any, and this may be a question for your strategic plan, but are there any initiatives that you're looking at to increase ridership?
Yes. We have a very static service that runs on a schedule that has 2 barriers to it. One, it's on a schedule. It only goes to certain places. Number 2 is not everybody knows the schedule and understands how to ride. The heavy lift for the strategic planning is to find out where folks want to go and educate them on what the service is and make it all inclusive for everybody. So that's the 2 things. So the long and short of it is we have a solution. We've got to make sure that it fits the needs of the community fully before we act on it. We plan on a pilot coming up probably in one of the cities. I won't say that we have everything together, but the good news is we have the technology hardware already on the buses with what we've done with demand to leverage the fixed route in a way that allows us to provide better service and maximize, because the FTA and I look at passengers per hour. How many people are on that bus per hour? The demand continues to grow as the aging community and more people hear about us. The fixed route's dropping off. We need to balance that out and get our, before the pandemic, we were training at 5 to 6 passengers per hour. We're down to about 1.5, 1.375. So that we need to do some things that respond to that.
Right.
Yes. We have a plan.
Okay.
I think without revealing too much, for the next month or 2, we'll be able to announce more details. We are working on it. We've had several groups and meeting with it. It's going to add more flexibility for the fixed routes, much more flexibility, be able to move on demand, basically like, I'll use the word Uber since it's trademarked, but similar to that approach, but we're going to be doing it within the neighborhoods and then within the communities, and the pilot will be one of the cities where we're still working out. But the software it's being done in other communities, and what you're doing is you're taking all your fixed assets and being able to move them around very efficiently upon that demand, immediate demand, to responding to the consumers. And we're excited about it, but I think right now it's a little premature to talk too much more, but that is the plan. And I think once you do that, then you're going to find people actually preferring to use that, rather as you pointed out. Right now, you got to know the schedule, you have to make all these arrangements. Like, no, this is a way to be able to actually, if you got the right app on the right phone or the right phone call to our dispatch, you'll be able to get it there and you know how soon it's going to get there and assured that you're going to have that service. And with that greater flexibility and flex in the route within a neighborhood and within the community, I think that's where the numbers are going to increase.
You said something very, very important. If I could just add to that, a yes
Sure.
and to what you said. Know how. Know it's for you. That is a huge goal. It's for everyone, and how. That's what I'm looking for. So when we get that way,
Yep.
we'll probably have enough room on the buses.
We hope.
I firmly predict that we're going to have an increase in ridership in some way, shape, or form.
Good,
So-
good.
We'll be talking about multiple vehicles in the future. I have no doubt.
The 7 vehicles we're looking at purchasing,
Yeah.
we have the funding for it, applying for it,
Yeah.
so we'll figure out the vehicle purchase.
Yep,
then.
yep,
Okay.
I think
All right, thanks,
the
Jim.
use will be there. All right, thanks. Debbie Kiley, our Job and Family Services Director, good morning.
Good morning, Debbie.
First, 2 resolutions for your consideration. The first one is an agreement with the Comprehensive Case Management Program and Job and Family Services with Tri-County Jobs for Ohio Graduates. And then the next one is just authorizing contracts for substitute care of children in our custody. I'll make a motion to approve the 2 resolutions.
Second.
Moved and second, any discussion? Roll call, please.
Sweattick?
Yes.
Hudson?
Yes.
Hambley?
Yes.
Department
Go ahead.
updates.
Yep, please.
So by division, so the Public Assistance Division, I think as I shared with you a few months ago, Job and Family, along with a handful of other counties, is part of a pilot project for the new child care eligibility software. They're loading it into our current public assistance software. The team has been working through trainings and pilot projects, but it went live with those pilot project counties a handful of weeks ago. It is not without its faults right now, but once it's up and performing well, it will be a benefit not only to staff but to community members, because dual entries are nearly eliminated. Any sort of community calls that come in, workers can look in one spot instead of 3 for all the eligibility that someone might be receiving. And it also gives Job and Family Services of Medina County a great deal of input for all counties throughout the state about how this software is going to work. So I was really proud of them for taking on that endeavor. So by the numbers for public assistance, our SNAP participants, we remain about 9,400 recipients, issuing about 2.3 million in those benefits. Our TANF participants are about 380, and we're issuing about over $90,000. And our Medicaid participants, we're maintaining about 26,000 residents. I have been trying to map reports because one is FNS, another one is the Department of Medicaid. So the reports are very different. And I've been trying to map those reports so that I could give you a comparison about who might be receiving those benefits concurrently, both on SNAP and both on Medicaid. Unfortunately, those reports don't map well together. And so it's really difficult for me to even search by last name and then eliminate those duplicates or the singulars of those groups. And going through 26,000 of them was like, that's a lie. So what I did is a small scrape, a small data sample, and I just chose 500 recipients. And I found that about 6% of that 500 are concurrent recipients getting both Medicaid and SNAP benefits. So, fun fact. Our Child Protective Division, we applied and were awarded a foster care recruitment grant. This year we received about $20,000, and next year we'll receive over $200,000. We'll be able to access these funds to replace monies that we used just last year to purchase a foster care and adoption software program. It's a live software program where individuals who are wanting to apply to adopt a child or to apply to become a foster parent or both, it's a live system where they can input their information, and the workers will see that information as soon as they press send. There's no delay or anything like that. So it's, again, for the community, it's a fantastic opportunity. We'll also include some additional outreach events and partnerships with medical professionals, teachers, and school staff. They are dealing with the same children and seeing the same children that we see. So we're going to start partnering with them on outreach events. We're also going to increase the utilization of our current foster care recruitment staff, not only for recruitment of foster care families, but also the retention of those that we do have. And then trauma training for foster families. This is going to be for both new and current foster families, and additional supports for those families who take in sibling groups greater than 3, and we often call those large sibling groups. Most recently, we took in a family of 6 children, and then just maybe a week later, another 8. So it's hard to find a foster family that can. They might want to take that many children, but they may not have the space or the ability to be certified for that. So we're going to work in that realm too. As our foster family population has increased 40% in 2022, we still have a great need for those foster families willing to take in children with those increased needs. And Child Protected by the numbers, the division has managed over 240 calls in April alone, reporting abuse and neglect. We have 119 children in care right now. 19 of them are in facilities or an institutional care of some type, and the balance are in foster homes. The agency currently has 56 foster homes for Medina's protective plan. There are other foster homes that exist, but those are in addition to those that just Medina County has certified. There are private entities that certify foster families that we utilize. We're just not the ones that certify them. And lastly, the division is hosting its foster parent appreciation banquet. That's going to be Thursday. And our ability to provide a safe haven for children is not possible without their efforts. So I'm excited to participate in that. And child support by the numbers. In April, the division collected about 1.6 million in current support and collected over 1.5 million in past due payments. So those are their numbers. And agency-wide, and actually I'm excited about this because it's in partnership with Ohio's Kinship and Adoption Navigator program. It's through the state, but it's an opportunity for the state to help families that are trying to navigate this system, period, because it's a complicated one. The agency is actually going to host with them a legal bus tour. And it sounds funny, but it's literally a bus is going to be in our parking lot on June 25th, and Brian has that for the next commissioner's newsletter. That bus is going to have attorneys in the bus for families that are not involved with Job and Family Services but are taking on children that aren't their own. There is a host of questions that come into play when you're deciding to do that for a child or children. So this bus is the opportunity for those families to keep us out of that responsibility, but also answer those questions about how do I go to court? How do I apply for guardianship? How do I apply for custody? So they'll give some brief legal advice. That's the idea, is to just give them enough nugget to guide them in a direction, and they're not going to hire them or anything like that. So I'm excited about that.
So this bus is for individuals who have an interest in adopting children?
Adopting or taking on children that maybe it's a neighbor, maybe it's a relative, but they were not involved with Job and Family Services. Maybe they're just seeing the need. Maybe a parent has passed away and they just need, like, what do I do next? So it's outside of Job and Family Services. Certainly when we get involved, we guide them as best they can, and the children is also is given a representative, if you will, a guardian ad litem, to kind of guide on behalf of the children. But this legal bus I see it as more of an opportunity for the community to help those children without Job and Family Services getting involved. Because when we get involved, it gets tricky, it gets messy, and it's appropriate, and we are the agency of last resort. You know, we exist where evil needs an adversary, right? So this is an opportunity for families to say, I need to help this child, but Job and Family Services, maybe it's not about abuse, neglect, it's just about I need to take on this child. So it's going to give them information on what to do next. Because they often contact us and we're like, we can't really answer those types of questions because it's not, when we get involved, the law goes in a different direction.
Right.
That's my update.
All right.
Thank you.
Very good.
Thank you.
Well, thank you very much.
Happy Sunny Tuesday.
All right, cool. Is David Corrado here?
Yes,
Oh,
he
I'm
is.
sorry, it was hiding behind Amy's head there, so we'll come forward. Sorry, it's not your hairdo or anything, okay, was just the angle.
Good morning, Dave.
Good morning.
Good morning.
So for the quarterly update from Medina County Fiber Network, we've been involved in a number of programs outside of just construction and stringing fiber. We are, from the residential perspective, moving further into the Medina area. Should be running around 15 crews throughout the county within the next 30 days or so. Like everyone else, the challenge is, of course, resources. Trying to find enough crews to keep the construction moving. We are approximately within 2 to 2.5 months, we should be hitting the 1,000th connection. So that is moving forward. And we have beefed up the sales force on the residential side. We brought in a sales manager and 3 more sales individuals for helping with door-to-door, in addition to extra hours for the demonstration center to assist people with learning about the new technology and how to leverage technologies over the fiber. We've addressed 2 areas, one with digital literacy, as we've been working with Commissioner Hambley on our digital literacy program. This is basically assisting all Medina County residents with understanding, again, how to leverage technology to benefit themselves and their community. We are working, the library is involved, we have the schools involved. From the second program we are looking at is the Affordable Care, which is basically a funded federal program in which the network becomes certified in providing services at a certain price point. We've created the packages, we've created the hardware. Any individuals that meet one of 4 criteria that's established by the federal government can receive high-speed fiber broadband at no cost. We've priced the package that the government will cover exactly the monthly cost for a 100 by 100 fiber-based connection to the home. And we've already had 7 people, or 7 households, that have signed up. And we become certified as we build each zip code. It goes by zip code. So we are certified for the zip codes for Westfield Center, Seville, and Medina right now. And then as we begin construction, we'll continue that program. Working with ODJFS, the health department, in order to create marketing programs to get the information out to these households, of course, without violating any privacy laws. We're being very careful about that. So it's been busy. Any questions?
1,000. You were going to celebrate at 500. Now you're already up to 1,000, huh?
Yes, moving along. I'd like to move quicker, but, you know, and there are a lot of people out there that want us to move quicker, so we're going as fast as we can.
So Dave, I just saw an email on offer of telehealth.
Yes,
Can
so.
you speak to that?
Thank you. Yes, we do have a telemedicine or telehealth application. It is called Doc2Go. We're just finalizing pricing, but you are correct. We did finish all of our contracts. It's actually a supported service through Metro Health. Metro, I know many of you think of them as the county hospital in Cuyahoga County, but a few years ago they changed their charter and sort of re-verified, recertified whatever hospitals do in order to go outside of Cuyahoga County, and they have a big interest in Medina County. So the Doc2Go is going to be a monthly subscription that will give you an immediate video call with a doctor. And it'll be unlimited number of calls. So this is something for schools, you know, people that have difficulty in travel. Think of the mom who has 3 or 4 children and one of them gets sick. She doesn't have to drag all the other children into a doctor's office where they possibly can get exposed to viruses, etc. These calls will allow you then to fill prescriptions without having to drive to the doctor, etc. And it's only available over the Medina Fiber Network. And we'll be adding more and more of these community-type applications as we go.
Yeah, Dave's been, you mentioned previously, been participating along with LIT Communities, our Digital Inclusion Literacy or DIAL initiative, which is a partnership not only with the Medina County Fiber, but also with the library, Office for Older Adults, even Wadsworth Library has participated in that, and the Career Center to kind of expand the programming and working with various populations and being able to, once they get that broadband, that they're being able to utilize it fully. And I think that I just appreciate LIT Communities and of course Medina County Fiber Network for participating in that and trying to look a little bit outside, you know, I'll just say look outside the box to how we can help people fully utilize that capacity. So, and especially as we're expanding even more in areas that have not had really any coverage whatsoever in terms of broadband.
Yeah, that's the last piece. So we are in design mode right now for what we call ARPA sections 1 and 2. 1 is the far west area of Medina County, which is in the partnership with LMRE. It'll take roughly 4 to 6 months to have all the design packages put together. We do have some construction starting next month and some of the industrial parks through that. The second part is the Guilford Township area that sort of moves a little bit east to Wadsworth Township and up through Sharon Center. So those two areas have a 24-month time limit, according to ARPA regulations, to have those built out. So we shifted a little bit of the build in the northern part of Medina County to get to those areas that really have almost nothing and never have been a focus of traditional telecom. And so we thought the shift was well worth it for these individuals, and then we'll pick up our schedule moving that northern route, Valley City, Brunswick, Hinckley, of course, as we move off in the ARPA project.
Great.
Okay.
Thank you, Dave.
Thanks.
Dave.
Appreciate it.
Good news.
All right. Commissioners' resolution. We have resolution commending Karen Bennett for her years of service with Medina County Job and Family Services. Whereas come to the attention of the Board of Medina County Commissioners that Karen Bennett is retiring from Medina County Job and Family Services on June 1st, 2022. And whereas Karen has been employed with Medina County for 30 years. Whereas the Board of County Commissioners wishes to recognize and honor Karen for her commitment and diligent work in Medina County and for ongoing dedication to providing exceptional customer service to Medina County residents. Since February 18, 1992, Karen has served in the following capacities: homemaker, adult protective services worker, ongoing protective services worker 2, intake protective services worker 2, adult protective services supervisor, intake and ongoing supervisor, and the START program supervisor. Karen has also served on the ICAT committee. Now, therefore, be it resolved by the Board of Commissioners of Medina County, Ohio, that Karen Bennett be and is hereby commended for her years of service with Medina County Job and Family Services. Be it further resolved that the Board wishes to take this opportunity to offer best wishes to Karen for her retirement.
Make a motion to approve.
Second.
Moved and second. Any discussion? Roll call, please.
Sweattick?
Yes.
Hudson?
Yes.
Hambley?
Yes. Karen's not here, right? Okay. All right. We'll have to make sure she gets that. We also have commendations for the following Medina County residents on achieving the Girl Scout Gold Award: Sarah Cooper, Anna Fletcher, Gabriella Geffert, and Ava Latham. And just want to congratulate them for that milestone. Commissioners also had a commendation for the following personnel and agencies that assisted in a May 5th, 2022 motor vehicle accident. It was a collision between a car and a motorcycle. I understand Commissioner Sweattick, you were there last night, recognizing the Litchfield Township Fire and Rescue Department, Medina County Sheriff's Department, Metro Life Flight, Lieutenant Scott Schmall, and then two residents, Ms. Marty Mackey and Ms. Cricket Shaw, who were, I guess, travelers, and they had provided immediate attention to a severely injured individual on a motorcycle who had, I guess, a severed artery.
Mm-hmm.
They applied a temporary tourniquet. I don't know if you want to reflect a little bit.
It was a
from
wonderful
last night's-
example of people in our community stepping up to take care of someone in need, and then the safety forces coming and working in collaboration to save the life. So it really was wonderful to honor these people last night. And again, the safety forces were excellent, all working in unison, but the gentleman could not have been saved without the help of the two individuals who just happened to stop by and
The stopped at the aid of a
Right,
person
at the
that
aid
needed
of a
it.
person that needed it.
That's an awesome story. It
it is a
really
good
is.
story.
Thank you, and thank you for being there to present that to them. All right. Let's see, we've got that. Open to public comment. Please, I prefer individually if you want to come up, that'd be fine.
Does it bother you that we're all?
Well, I want to make sure that the camera's able to see. That's fine. All right.
Hi, Kathy Jones from Sharon
Sure.
Township. I assume that you haven't signed and sent the resolution opposing the House and Senate bill on the radioactive brine as a commodity, correct? Okay, with that in mind, I have a few things that I'll pass out to you, but we do have petitions signed by over 100 individuals saying that they wish you to do that. I'll pass that out to you.
Okay.
And also, there's an article in May of 29th of 1985 where Medina County Commissioners voted to not allow brine on the roads in Medina County or in private residences because of the fear that it would be contaminating, poisoning water, and ruining the health of individuals in the county. So I'm not sure that you were aware of that resolution in 1985. Were any of you aware of it? I do have a copy of what I'm referring to.
Provide that to us. Yeah, we'll take a look at it.
Okay,
Not say that
it should be
yeah.
something you're aware
Sure.
of. Okay, what I want to say is, it's really a shame that you all refused to reaffirm the vote of the Medina County Commissioners from 37 years ago. They were aware that that would be poisoning the environment, even though they didn't have the testing that we have today. So there's no question that this brine is radioactive, that it will poison water wells and water and cause cancer and other health harms to individuals in Medina County. But there's not one of you that seem to want to lift their finger or take a stand and say, this is dangerous to the people in your community, it's dangerous to you, your families, and it will be dangerous for generations to come. So Commissioner Sweattick, why I understand you're running for re-election as commissioner. At the same time, by not signing the resolution stating your opposition to these two bills, the bills that are causing brine to be sold as a commodity on the shelves, so people unsuspecting that it has radiation will be able to purchase them. You're not upholding your oath of office to protect the health and the people of Medina County, and I think Medina County residents will be aware of that. So you're not upholding your oath, and neither are Commissioners Hambley and Hudson. And you need to understand again that you work for we the people. It's not the other way around. Medina County Commissioners didn't protect us from the harms of the Nexus pipeline or the compressor station, and now you're showing again by your not signing this resolution that you don't want to protect us from the harms from the radiation and the poisoning of the water. We asked the commissioners to allow a public meeting for the Emergency Management Committee to meet with the public so that they could find out what kind of training or what they needed to do to be protected when there's blowdowns. We asked the commissioners to have Nexus have a meeting and that the commissioners would demand Nexus to at least give residents 48 hours notice of a blowdown so that they could leave the area and protect their families. Other other pipeline companies do that, and we've been asking that since 2018, and you still haven't wanted to protect us this way. So I don't know why you don't want to protect us from the radiation and the water poisoning, but I don't see that happening. I don't know why you think it is important not to sign this now when the Athens County Commissioners did, and Mr. Hambley, you said that it was too soon to sign it because we don't know if they'll vote on it today, tomorrow, or during the lame duck session, but that shouldn't matter. You shouldn't be afraid to send a message that we care about our residents in Medina County and we don't want this as a law. All of you know that wells and water will be poisoned and the people will die if these two bills are passed, which will make radioactive oil and gas brine a commodity. Unsuspecting consumers over the state of Ohio and other states too will be purchasing this at their local stores. There will be no radioactive labels on the package. There will be no requirements to track its use, and it won't be identified as oil and gas waste, and the majority of the public will be unaware of this until it's too late. This you're all aware of. We gave you all the studies. You're more than aware of what this would do. At least the county commissioners 37 years ago had some backbone to say, no, this is not permitted in Medina County. We care about our Medina County residents. Is this really something you can live with? Is this the legacy you want to leave behind to the residents of Medina County? So I'm asking once again, on behalf of residents of Medina County and the state of Ohio, and it will include other states as well, because this is tracked in from other states, do the right thing, sign the resolution in opposition to House Bill 282 and Senate Bill 171 to help make radioactive brine never become law in Ohio. It's not just our lives, it's your lives, it's your grandchildren's lives. This radiation will be around for hundreds of years. It just accumulates, and I really don't understand why this is a problem, why you can't sign and say that you're concerned and you want the safety of your residents. With that in mind, I'll pass out the article showing that 37 years ago, our county commissioners did have a heart and did care about the people in the county. And this is copies of people that have signed petitions asking you to please send your resolution in opposition to the bills. And one other thing I wanted to ask you, last night I got an email from an Ann Hudson, who's a resident of Medina County. She sent you a letter asking you to please protect the air, water, and soil for our children, families, and animals. She said she thinks you'll do the right thing. She's a cancer survivor, and she was explaining how all this radiation would cause cancer, what she's been through, and to please have a heart, and for God's sakes, think of what you're doing to the people, okay? You can't go back once it's done. This should never be a commodity, okay? Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else?
I'm Pauline Chapman. I live at 7328 Worcester Pike in Seville, Ohio. I'm very concerned about this issue because I am a 3-year cancer survivor. I have to walk across that road that this brine gets spread upon to get my mail. I have to stand on the side of the roadway to try to weed whack the ditch that never gets cut. So I have to see to get out of my driveway. And my water supply, my water well, is within 135 feet of where that brine is going to be flowing into that ditch. And I have read a lot about all the toxins that are in that brine, and I'm asking you to sign that resolution to not have that spread on my roadway. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else?
Hi, I'm Carol Brentzel. I'm a resident of Montville Township. First of all, I was here about a month ago, sitting there and listening when this resolution was first brought to your attention. At that time, we were told you were going to research it. After Kathy Jones had the article she presented to you all, I was very surprised that there was no response from any one of you three saying you had found this and done the research. It didn't take me long. I'm a tax accountant, so I've dealt with auditors my life here. I know how important it is to research, find statutes to prove my point on why something's not taxable or why this was done this way. So I was surprised to know that you didn't do that. When I went in and researched on it, the commissioners in 1985, they actually, at that time, stated in this article that they were continuously fighting in the county for the underground disposal of brine to not be done. Here we are, and we're still fighting this not to get it put on. I'm concerned, as Ms. Pauline Chapman said, where I live, there's a stream that water feeds down into the Rocky River. So I'm Montville Township, and it goes down along there, all along that area, and this is it will run into the water thing. One of the commissioners actually is a graduate that banned this, was John Happ. He was a graduate of Texas A&M University. He came here to work for AI Root and was concerned with the bee environment and everything else. And he went on to also form, and this was in your newsletter dated June 4th, 2021. He formed the Professional Insect Control Company here in Medina County. So I'm kind of a little bit disappointed that y'all haven't done your job in researching and working, which is what we pay you for. And we still haven't gotten anywhere to get this resolved, and it's been fought for a number of years now. Thank you.
Please don't leave.
You got it. I'll be back. Go ahead.
So what agency in Medina County currently uses oil and gas brine for the roads?
That's what they want to do. That's what the state resolution thinks about.
My question is, what agency, governmental agency or otherwise for that matter,
We don't know. We have
uses
no
oil
control
and
of it.
gas brine on roads in Medina County?
Well, in the 37 years ago, Medina Supply wanted to, and an oil driller from Liverpool Township.
So what
Carol, we
governmental
did do
agency
research. There is
in
none.
Medina County uses oil and gas brine on roads in Medina
We're
County?
asking that it doesn't get done.
And my question is,
There
who
is.
is doing it?
There's none currently, but we're
That's the fact
fighting
that-
so
Yes,
it doesn't
and that is a
happen.
fact. There are no governmental agencies in Medina County, township, village, or county, or state of Ohio for that matter, that is
Oh, yes,
using
there are
or
some in- there are
intends,
some that do.
that intends to use brine, oil and gas brine on roads in Medina
There
County.
are some that do.
Who?
What, the
Who?
second,
It's a state issue.
And the point is, if
Whoa,
we
whoa, whoa,
need a
please,
commodity,
please.
it's gonna be ours.
please, we've asked a public comment, and
And I said it was
Okay,
a
I said-
state issue.
Fine, please, thank you, thank you.
Thank
I'm
you.
talking about, all right.
And the fact of the matter is, ODOT in Medina County does not use it. The county, Medina County, does not use it. And as far as we have been able to determine, because we have done the research, is that there aren't any townships or villages or cities that are using radioactive brine or brine of any well, I'm gonna temper that. So ODOT actually mixes their own salt and water combination to spread on the roads. It is not oil and gas, and it is not radioactive. They have stopped using aqua salina in Medina County. I understand that they're actually phasing it out across the state, so it is not being used. And I take some issue with Ms. Jones' comments about the harms of Nexus. I've actually been out to the Nexus compressor station when they've done a blowdown to actually observe it. And it is, I would say, a quite unremarkable event. And when they have an emergency blowdown, it's not even possible to give 48 hours. And to my knowledge, they have not had an emergency. They had a planned blowdown.
They've had
So-
blowdowns where they haven't let people know, and also you don't see the toxins in the air because you can only see it with a
The-
camera.
This is, excuse me.
Be that as it may, there may be toxins,
This is
but.
not meant to be a discussion,
But it is it is an event that is allowed by the Environmental Protection Agency and is controlled. And that's all I'll say. So I have personally talked to ODOT and read various articles to understand this issue. And it is my understanding that it is not a significant issue in the state of Ohio. It is going away. Well, I'm just telling you what my research, you have accused me of sitting here and not doing anything and not earning my pay, so to speak. And I have done the research. I have looked at various articles, and I have talked to folks at ODOT to get information from them, so to better understand the issue.
Okay.
So,
All right, thank you.
I am done.
That's all right. We're not, and that, the point of this public comment is to receive the comment. Commissioners do have the latitude to respond to individuals. Yes, he could have, as well, any of us. Frankly, this is our meeting. We invite you for public comment. Yes, and it is a public meeting, and listen to your accusations. I think many of the statements you've made certainly are not factual, although presented as factual, are inaccurate, biased. And I understand Commissioner Hudson's, I guess, differences of opinion regarding how with some of the characterizations made prior regarding Nexus, as well as characterizations of us not doing our jobs. We have repeatedly, Commissioner Swedick reported a couple weeks ago about her discussions and her investigation. Each of us have taken this issue seriously, have evaluated it, have conferred with a number of agencies and entities. We've looked at a number of the concerns with this. Unfortunately, I think your presentations are mixing up the brine issue with those two bills that are now pending. They involve the commoditization of that, and you're mixing that up with current use for de-icing application by local governments. Those specific bills are checked even today, are not, they're not even those as hearings, they have overwhelmingly opposition. Each one of those bills have only 2 proponents. Each one of those bills likewise have dozens of individuals. I'm already on record publicly and there being personally opposed to those 2 bills. I would suggest that any suggestions is more like to try to induce public panic that is still a lot further to go at the state level before those bills are going to see action. There's no doubt in my mind that those are serious issues. They have been evaluated, and a number of credible individuals as well as agencies have come out in opposition to those 2 bills. So, I do take offense that you are mixing up the 2 issues regarding that with the use of the brine. The resolution that was passed, if you look even in the article you presented, I was totally unaware of that. We'll certainly research it, look at what that resolution, but even the article itself pointed out it only applied to county roads. It didn't apply to township roads. Their ban on brine. Yes, if you read the article, it was clear that townships individually had to make that decision. And this is an issue that certainly the commissioners acted on. I supported certainly would have supported their support or their approach to this. We are doing our homework and evaluating this. When it comes to the use of brine, Commissioner Swedick she already indicated publicly in talking with individuals, as Commissioner Hudson has already likewise says, we're not using oil waste for brine on our roads in Medina County. And where we are in state bills, we are taking what actions we deem necessary in order to oppose that.
Could I just say 2 things? One thing is, I mentioned these bills are about making it a commodity so anybody can spread it anywhere.
Yes,
Secondly, people from Medina County, they go into other counties, they drive in their cars. Where it's being spread somewhere else, it's coming back here. But I know the bills are about the commodity. You know that it's radioactive. You know how dangerous it is. There's no problem why you don't send a resolution just in support of it. Athens County Commissioners had no problem with it. There's another group in Columbus that hasn't. Why you don't want to take a stand, why you're in the pocket of the oil and gas industry is all I can think.
That characterization is inappropriate. I'm sorry, this is not meant to be a discussion period. And likewise, we allowed wide latitude here in public comment. If you want to step forward, because remember, the public are viewing us. I want them to be able to hear, obviously, the presentation.
I want to say one thing.
You may go ahead.
I am on a county road. I'm not in a township road.
Right.
And if I came across accusing, it wasn't. I'm trying to get answers. Had I known, you could have come up and said that you have had discussions on it. I would have appreciated hearing that.
We have actually, we've had several meetings where we've mentioned this.
Please.
No, excuse me.
I respect you. I was speaking, and when you spoke, I was quiet for you. So please give me the same consideration. That's all I'm asking. Mr. Hudson, in regards to you, what I was talking, when we were talking, I wanted you to know I'm on a county road. I'm not trying to say I don't have concerns. I was concerned because I'm on a county road. When I've made calls about issues on our county road, not to you and not to one of the other commissioners sitting here, but another one, I was told, that's not our problem. You need to call your township. It wasn't in regards to the brine. It was in regards to how traffic flows on my road. My husband got hit on our road while he was weed whacking a ditch. Wasn't on the road, but the cars fly on that road. I've asked numerous times, we need to do something. Get told, go to the township, go to your sheriff's department. So my question to you is, if you've done this research, you're in agreement about that part. I'm agreeing with you also. What I'm questioning is, why can't you just sign a resolution and send it to the state? What's the problem with doing that? Why not show the people in this county you care? You've done your research. It's not holding you to any, you're just saying you're not supporting this bill. That's what was being asked. That's it. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other public comment? Just please. I know we met at Earth Day,
Yes,
so
we did.
forth. Yes, go ahead.
In my earlier career, I worked for a company in Cleveland that was a mechanical contractor, and we had the main contract for the piping at the Perry Nuclear Power Plant. And in regard to these Nexus pipelines, I know a lot about all the failures that can happen with these pipelines. Now, I am within 300 yards or 300 feet of that Nexus pipeline, and I was really sad that nobody supported and tried to keep that out of our county.
Thank you. Ms. Jones, would you please remove the sign for us? Thank you. Thank you.
Can I say one other thing?
Yeah, go ahead. If you please make it quick, we need to get to our business.
I live
Thank
within
you.
2.85 miles of the Wadsworth compressor station. We know the toxins coming out of there. We've had infrared cameras, if you were aware, it was on the news. We had infrared cameras showing the toxins coming out. We're monitoring it through Sustainable Medina County because no one in Medina County, no elected officials, no one would support us. The Akron Air Monitoring won't monitor the compressor station. We are getting values out of there. So what you see when you went to go see a blowdown, which none of us were permitted to, so they're going to tell you what they want you to hear because they're self-monitoring. But anyway, I have concerns about the toxins coming from the compressor station as people within 10 miles of it should. Thank you.
Thank you. All right. Any other public comments? Yes, please. Oh, thank you.
My name is Kathy Mendito. I live in Wadsworth.
Okay.
I agree that the reason that we're coming here today is to just ask you to sign the bill. You said that you've done the research and that you are opposed to the two bills. So I guess what's the harm in publicly saying that you're opposed to them? My concerns are about the high level of radiation in oil and gas brine. Even if it's not being currently used on our roads, it could be if this gets passed. The brine's been found to be highly radioactive and cancer-causing. There are multiple chemicals in brine that are known to cause bone, liver, and breast cancer. I myself am a breast cancer survivor. The chemicals will get into our soil and stay there for up to 1,600 years, affecting generation after generation of future Medina County residents. I'm a mother of 4 and a grandmother of 5. I want to protect them and other residents here, and I'd like to see you sign this resolution opposing these two bills. Thank you.
All right. Thank you. All right. Any other? All right. We'll go ahead and close the that portion of it. Open up for a discussion session. Scott.
So I just want to give you a quick update. As you know, in the 1841 courthouse, we removed the bathrooms, and we found a place for them in the connector. So the bathrooms are still accessible to that 3rd floor.
Good.
So we got the numbers back yesterday, and it went down. The cost went down significantly. So our contingency went back up to over $500,000. So we're back in good shape. So just wanted to let you know.
Good to hear.
Thanks, Scott.
All right. Jeremy, you always have something.
I got 2 things today.
All right. Well, that's fine.
All right. First thing, the second or the inbound commercial scale was replaced. That was opened up, I think, mid morning on Monday. So our 2 concrete scales are no longer. So we're good to go here. So the other item I wanted to discuss here was the Rumpke commercial mixed waste contract. Back in September of 18, the county initially entered into contract with Rumpke to do a commercial mixed waste process. We've been monitoring that process. It actually went live in 2020 in January, and we've been monitoring the process. The contract stated that they needed to hit a 5% recovery on the commercial mixed waste. They've been averaging about 1.4, 1.3, and 1.2 the last three, respectively, the last 3 years. We had discussion about this with Rumpke to say, hey, is this process, this commercial mixed waste process, which is, something brand new that's never been done before, is this something that we want to keep pursuing? We had conversations with the Solid Waste Policy Committee and presented, we had some initial conversations with Rumpke to say, hey, what if we amended this contract, what does it look like? So we provided some terms where we discussed some terms with Rumpke, and there was actually 4 main points here it was as far as looking for a contract amendment. The first was a $2 reduction in our TT&D cost, or the transport, transfer, and disposal cost. There was also, they would eliminate the single stream recycling fee. So right now the county or the solid waste district receives all single stream from like the city of Brunswick. Then there's 4 other townships that participate in curbside recycling. They bring the material to the district for free. However, we have to pay Rumpke $30 a ton for processing. They would eliminate that. There would be no cap to the tonnage that could of single stream. So at some point in time, if the city of Medina, city of Wadsworth, or any other township decides to go to a curbside, it wouldn't be any additional cost for the solid waste district. The third option would be that we would, or the third term here was that we would lease a portion of the 8730 building, which is where the TT&D and the commercial mixed waste process takes place. We would lease that portion of the building to them, and Rumpke would turn that into a single stream recycling facility. The existing equipment that they have there would still, they would be able to use that same machinery to do this processing. And as more material is brought to the district, they would be able to add plug and play modules, we'll call them, to the machinery to further be able to process single stream materials. And then also with that being a more centralized regional recycling facility for Rumpke, they would be able to bring in curbside from material from out of the county as well. So we had run this by the Solid Waste Policy Committee. They've all voted in favor of us transitioning away from a commercial mixed waste process that just doesn't seem like it was doing what they were hoping it would, to changing it into, or transitioning it into, a single stream recycling facility. So we were hoping to, we had our legal with Mike Lyons and Joe Durham with Eastman down in Columbus. They helped amend contract language with Rumpke. Both sides are good with all of the contract language, all the amendments, the lease agreement. So I was hoping to present this to the commissioners on June 7th for approval, and just wanted to see if you had any questions or concerns with this.
You'll be sending us a copy of that, obviously.
I can do that.
And the Solid Waste Policy Committee is going to have another meeting before that to discuss it?
It's actually
It
not
would
till
have been
after.
it would have been the day after, but
Yeah.
the terms that were discussed that they voted on were the terms that were
Incorporated
incorporated
into-
into that amendment.
So this has actually been under discussion for probably close to 2 years.
Got it. Okay. Yeah.
Early on, when we implemented the process, which started in February of 20, if I remember right.
Yeah, yep.
Then COVID hit, and when COVID hit, it really changed the composition of the various waste streams. And so we worked with Rumpke for several months, trying to see what was going to happen in terms of the actual recycling percentages. And as time went on, it sort of came to everybody's conclusion that it was not going to improve. So we started looking at alternatives of how could Rumpke use that equipment and how could we generate more recycling for the county overall.
Right.
So this is the agreement that has been
So I-
worked on and structured, basically to see if we can do more recycling in the county. It also gives
Mhm.
Rumpke flexibility to bring single stream in from other counties to process it there before they ship it off to
No,
Columbia.
I attended that policy committee meeting, when those were agreed upon. I remember the discussions on that. But they do not need to take action regarding the specifics. Is that
The
my
policy
understanding?
committee?
The policy committee?
Yeah, they really don't know.
Okay, that's, okay.
We are actually the board.
Well, that I understand.
So,
Okay, right.
and my concern, I think, is your concern.
Yeah.
I hate doing things as the board that the policy committee hasn't approved.
Reviewed, especially
right?
some of
From
the
timing
details of it.
standpoint,
Yes,
yeah.
okay, got it.
And it
But we're
was-
having a meeting right after
Right.
that. Okay, got it.
And it is in the solid waste district plan that we were to reevaluate this commercial mixed waste process every year to make sure that it was sustainable, so.
Yeah, got it. No,
Do we have any more townships looking to go out for bid for that?
There have been maybe one or two townships that have shown some interest. We've been kind of talking with them to see if they would, but I know Medina Township was interested at one point just before COVID, but I haven't heard much from them since that point. One of the, I guess, benefits to this program is with some of the savings, the district might be able to create a grant program for communities to assist with transitioning to curbside recycling, as it is the more efficient way to
Yeah,
get
because for
uncontaminated.
some of the townships, they've looked at it as cost prohibitive because the initial startup costs with the cans and so the
But
grant,
if
yeah.
the
Right.
EPA, EPA had grants for Brunswick.
Yeah,
I
there was-
think, and there was another.
Right.
Montville.
To
Yeah.
cover part of the cost, if
Right.
not all of it, for the bin, so.
Well, I know the
Yeah.
typical household waste, just from my own experience in Brunswick, that we fill the can, the recycling bin far more frequently with all the cardboard boxes.
It is, yeah.
Yes.
Than ever before.
Right.
So.
Yeah, we're a frequent Amazon
Yeah.
stop.
Yes, we all are,
Yeah.
apparently. Okay. But I understand that the COVID and the change in the industry certainly has impacted the waste stream such that this actually helps these, what we're adopting and these changes we're actually are being much more, I guess, proficient in terms of our recycling and affording individuals a greater opportunity to recycle their waste rather than dispose in a landfill, which is the intent of the program.
Correct.
Right, the whole thing is to drive up
Exactly
the
right.
recycling
It's been
rate, so-
great in Hinckley.
Right.
Yeah.
And,
Okay.
and you know that the cost, the commodities that recycle, that you're getting, the cost for these recycling materials, cardboard and everything, a lot more of these businesses are trying to recycle and recoup their, recoup costs through the recycling and just due to the cost of,
Sure.
that they're getting for their material, so.
Yeah, great. Good, all right.
All right.
Thank you.
Perfect.
Thanks, Sean.
Appreciate
Thank
it.
you.
All right, cool. Dan, do you have anything? Any other, Amy, I'm sorry for.
Thank you. I just wanted to follow up. Terry Green from Leadership Medina had come and
Oh,
to
yes.
visit
Okay,
and
yeah.
did a presentation on a customized training program for Medina County's emerging leaders. So as a result of the conversation and some feedback that we'd received from the department directors that report to the county commissioners, there were at least 21 people that were identified as candidates to participate in the program by the directors. So what Colleen Rice and Terry Green did is they put together a 12-month program for 24 individuals. And part of the beauty in making it for such a large group is that the costs associated with bringing in a speaker and so forth then get spread out over a larger group rather than have the cost be significantly higher for a smaller group to participate. So what they've proposed is a once a month series of half and full day courses that cover a variety of interesting topics. And based on the memo that I wrote to, there are several that many of the directors felt their staff members that they identified would benefit in learning and then bringing that knowledge back to their departments to share with their groups. So because the program as it's currently outlined starts in July of 2022 and carries on through June of 2023, We were hoping to have some discussion and potentially a decision to see if this indeed was something that the commissioners were interested in us pursuing, and if we had your support in spreading that cost out over these 2 years, see how successful it is with this group, and if that's something that we want to continue moving forward. Part of what's in here deep in the 10-page proposal too is some type of community service program, because anyone who's participated in the Leadership Medina program, that's one of the valued pieces I felt in participating myself, is that there's also an opportunity to give back. So they'd be seeking your input on a project they might be able to work on that would have be of interest to you. Thoughts?
I am supportive of it.
Okay.
One question. So
Mhm.
you mentioned the departments. What about other electeds? Is this going to be open to the entire, all county employees, or is it limited to just those under the commissioners?
Well, we had such an overwhelming response from the departments that reported to the commissioners. I think we will have filled all slots for this first round with departments that report to the county commissioners.
Okay.
But the idea and interest that you'd expressed, I think if this works, it would be great to open it up to a larger population and electeds moving forward.
Right, okay.
Mhm.
I'm supportive of it. I think we
Thank you.
should do.
Just for the
development
record,
for our
since
people.
I'm on the Board of Trustees for the Leadership Medina County Board and a fiduciary responsibility, I'm not going to be involved in the decision. So at this point.
You abstain.
Yeah, I have to abstain, yeah.
So with that, I'll present a resolution then next week asking for formal approval of the agreement to enter into that with Leadership Medina.
And we'll do evaluation after the first year to see how it went, see how productive it was, and, okay.
And we'll be able to report during the course of the year too, so hopefully you'll be seeing live benefits of the program.
Excellent.
Okay,
Good,
thank you.
thank you. Bill, do you have anything? I'm sorry.
No, it's all right. So NOACA is, we have a meeting set up on June 3rd to discuss the comprehensive economic development strategy or that NOACA is developing as a region. So Bethany Detler and Kathy and I will probably be on that call. The first draft of it is not that much different from the long-range plan, first draft, in terms of its Cleveland, Cuyahoga County
Yeah.
simplicity.
Yes.
So we will work to change that. It is going to be on the board agenda for the June 10th meeting of the board. In our executive committee meeting, Armin Budish expressed some concerns about it. I expressed some
What were
concerns
Armin's
about it.
concern, if it's so Cuyahoga County centric?
Well, I think he sees the value of more regional aspects to it.
Interesting.
Because, and we talked about the letter that he sent out, which I think both of you saw in concern.
Was asking for
Asking
sites.
for 5 to 1,000 acre sites, and we
Yeah.
need to be ready,
Yeah.
and we talked about that letter, and that really this is, this plan should be all encompassing. So I think he even had concerns about how, I asked Grace where this consulting firm was domiciled from, because in Chicago, they refer to everything as Chicagoland, and it goes out multiple counties around Chicago, but it's all Chicago. And my sense is that the consulting firm was probably from Chicago or a big city like that, and they just assumed that Cleveland is the same way. And I think, I know Bethany had a meeting with them last week where they asked for feedback, and she expressed a lot of this. So it'll be interesting to see if they made any material changes between last week and what we're going to talk about next week in that regard. They
Yeah,
said they would.
She
but-
shared with us, and I read through those, and I agree with her 100%.
Oh, yeah, it's-
And it was very, very plain. I'm very glad that she devoted the time and effort.
Yes.
And going through that and then identifying that, and there was no doubt that those were sore points, not only probably for us, but all the other remaining counties that are outside. And I would, regarding Armin, he is on the CCAO Board of Trustees as well, and I've noticed as he's gotten closer to the end of his term of office, he's become less Cuyahoga County centric. So probably when he walks out the door, maybe it'll be more regional, I don't know.
Yeah. Yes. The other thing I would add is there is a significant amount of transportation dollars that are coming from the federal government. And NOAC is pushing hard for a greater Amtrak presence. Not only through Ohio, but in Ohio, trying to get something, a Columbus, Cleveland, Columbus, Cincinnati sort of corridor established. And it is unfortunate that have a city as big or region as big as we are, and you basically have one train a day that goes through Cleveland.
And in
So,
the middle of the night.
well, yeah, we're going to New York in December and taking Amtrak, so we have to leave at 5:30-ish in the morning.
That's right,
And then on
But
our way back.
the east-west ones it's like 2:30 in the morning.
Well, we get
Yeah.
back, on our return trip, we land at like 3:40 in the morning. And, I mean, to me, that's sort of pathetic to have a region as big as we are, and you can only catch the train in the wee hours of the morning.
Yeah, about 5 years ago, I took it as well, going west to Chicago, and then out, took the Zephyr over the Rocky Mountains and so forth. The same thing, it just, even it stops over in Elyria are not that well. So it's very unimpressed by the, what the kind of service we get.
Yeah, then we were in Richmond a month or so ago. We took the train into DC, and it was so nice because from the northern part of Richmond to DC, it was exactly a 2-hour trip, and
Sure.
you knew your times, you knew where you had to be, and you just got on and went, and it was far better than driving and trying to find a place to park and polluting the environment. So
it can work when it's done right.
Yeah,
indeed. So I'm glad they're
so anyhow, I
looking
just
at
want to
that.
let you know those two things.
All right, super. Colleen, do you have anything for discussion?
I do not, so I think you hit everybody, so I will make a motion.
I don't have anything to add. We do have a request for executive session.
Yes, I will make a motion to go into executive session to consider the compensation of a public employee and imminent litigation.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Sweattick?
Yes.
Hudson?
Yes.
Hambley?
Yes. Okay, that'll be it for today. Thank you very much for joining us, and we'll see you next time.
Thank you.
It's 11:34. We're out of executive session. Is there a motion?
I will make a motion to adjourn.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Sweattick?
Yes.
Hudson?
Yes.
Hambley?
Yes, everybody have a good day and enjoy the sunshine.
And good Memorial Day.